So, welcome to Copilot Your Day. I have the great pleasure to have Stuart with me on board. Maybe, Stuart, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey Pascal, thanks for having me. Yes, my name's Stuart Ridout. I work at Microsoft in our customer success technical strategy team. So my team work on kind of incubation of kind of cool and interesting applications of AI and a lot of work to do with Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Sounds interesting. So, how does a day look like, or how do you support your customers?
It's a really interesting role because the day is never the same, and every day is completely different. So I kind of split my time between internal facing work where we're trying to kind of skill up around kind of what our customers are looking at, looking inwards at some of the challenges that we have that we can answer with AI, because a lot of the time the problems that we have internally are the same problems that our customers have as well. We're no different. We still have finance people and sales people and customer success and HR and all of those functions that exist within our customers. They still exist for us at Microsoft. Just because we're Microsoft, those same challenges exist. So half my time's kind of looking at that and looking to see how we can solve those. And then the other half of my time's kind of spent working with customers. So because I work in our headquarters team, what happens is people from the field will say, hey, I've got this customer who is having this challenge, or I really kind of need to go and talk to this group of execs about Copilot, or most recently I was going to talk to a group of execs around leadership and how can they demonstrate kind of intentional leadership and around kind of AI and building an AI strategy and things like this. So it's kind of a split between those two things there.
Awesome, sounds super interesting. I can imagine that no day looks like the day before. That sounds super fun. And when we talk about challenges, I think also a big challenge is, of course, the adoption part of Copilot to really. I have also the pleasure to talk to Karana. She's talking about the aha moment. I think you have kind of the similar experience, or where do you see also the challenges in these days?
Yeah, so I think obviously, like when we talk to anybody who uses kind of Copilot, the low-hanging fruit is really in meeting summarization. Mm-hmm. So going into a meeting and saying, create a table showing all the actions, the owners, and the due dates. And what I try to say to customers when I talk to people is I say, okay, and what are you going to do with that table? And they go, oh, well, I'm going to write an email to the attendees and I'm going to just summarize what happened in the email in the meeting. Then I'm going to pop in that table and things like this. So I try to say to them, what you need to do is expand your use of Copilot beyond just creating that table there. So I say, instead of creating that table, why don't you write a prompt that says, write an email to the attendees of the meeting, summarize what happened, give a bulleted list of the main actions and decisions, and then create a table showing actions, owners, and due dates. And then lastly, pull out anything that we need to talk about for the next meeting so we can give an indication of what the agenda might look like. And people go, oh wow, yeah, that makes so much sense, to kind of expand the purpose of your prompt and try and make it bigger. So that's kind of where I start. And then looking at where they can use Copilot in other areas they're not used to thinking about it. So things like whiteboard or forms and stuff like this. So that's I do a lot of work to do with prompt excellence. We've got a video series on the Microsoft site called Prompt Like a Pro, which is a 5-part video series that talks about things like chain of thought prompting and stuff like this. Because with any AI, what you put in is what you get out. So if you put just summarize my emails, that's another classic one. I was talking to somebody the other day who said, "Oh, I put in summarize my important emails, and I didn't really get like great output back." And I said, "Well, that's because the definition of important is different. So everybody who sends you an email, to them, their email is important, but to you, that's not necessarily important. So what you need to do is you need to tell Copilot a little bit more to say, summarize my important emails. I prioritize any emails that come from customers. anything that comes from my manager or my skip level manager, or anything that's to do with deadlines in the next 2 weeks, for instance. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. So I do a lot of stuff around prompt excellence as well.
And I think this is also our main topic today. Of course, you have also introduced or launched PromptBuddy, which is kind of a tool within the M365 ecosystem. How does it come to your thoughts to do something like the PromptBuddy? And maybe you can explain in detail what PromptBuddy is.
So absolutely. So PromptBuddy is a Power App that you can put into Power Apps in teams. So if you've got like an adoption team, or like a Copilot Champs team, or a team that's got all of your Copilot users in, you can install PromptBuddy into there. So it basically is an enterprise-wide prompt library where anybody can put in prompts, and then people can browse them, look at them by different apps, by different departments, and by different personas. So when you put your prompt in, you can tag it in lots of different ways. They can like it and upvote it, so then you get like a leaderboard that shows you the most popular prompts. There's another leaderboard that shows you the most active prompt submitters, contributors, and then there's another section that just shows you the new ones, so you can see the new ones that are coming in all the time. And it came about, so I created it with another colleague of mine called Eric Olson. So it came about like early on in Copilot days, where, because Copilot is still really young in the grander scheme of like the lifespan of a product. But people didn't know what they didn't know. They wanted to see other prompts that other people had. And Copilot Lab was there, but Copilot was us as Microsoft saying, hey, here are some prompts that you might want to try. But as people kind of go along that journey, people started to become a lot more sophisticated with their prompting. And people kind of say, oh, well, I want to show my prompts from my organization. And we know that is on the roadmap for Copilot Lab. We work very closely with the Copilot Lab team to look at where we've implemented features that they might want to take into Copilot Lab. So we have a very close working relationship. But ultimately, it is sample code. So because it's a Power App, you can then bring it into your environment. It's completely private to your environment, so you don't see anybody else. It's not like a multi-customer thing. It's completely private to you. And then so you can manage it. So, and because it's a Power App, you can change it. So if you said, actually, I want to move the buttons over here, and I want to introduce a new tagging dimension, and things like this, then that is completely at your will, because it's a Power App, so you can do with it as you please.
Yeah, that's super cool. So it's kind of an accelerator to have this community sharing Copilot Champions approach to share the prompts and also vote to envision and inspire your co-workers, because I think this is also what we see at our customer projects. It's sometimes really hard to have even the thoughts what's possible with Copilot in general, as you mentioned. So what are we doing with the information of important emails, or what is the output of your prompt? So of course it's a super important skill, and PromptBuddy is available on GitHub, is that right?
It is. It's available on GitHub, so it's at aka.ms/getpromptbuddy, and you can download it. And the install takes minutes. It literally takes no time at all. We've got a video there that shows you how it works, and then also when you install it, you get about 30 of our most popular prompts, because I mean we've got about 2,000 prompts on our internal PromptBuddy that we use within Microsoft as well. So and I learned so much. So I think I'm quite a good prompter. I think I'm quite good at creating prompts for Copilot. But I learn so much from so many other colleagues within my organisation who are much better than me. And it's quite nice that when you find a prompt that somebody's created, you're kind of like, oh, I like that prompt. I wonder what else they've created. So then you can go and find other ones that other people have created as well by the same person.
So you use PromptBuddy also at Microsoft internally?
Yeah, so we use both. So we use PromptBuddy. We also use Copilot Lab internally as well. Yeah.
Perfect. So before we coming to your live demo, I think this is also, of course, on the public roadmap. There are a lot of additional features in the Copilot Lab. How do you see in the next few months the evolution of PromptBuddy or also Copilot Lab? Is it kind of a one or the other? Is it more an enhancement of each other, or how do you see it from your perspective?
So it is better together. That is the story we tell is that they are better together. So as we know, as we can see on the roadmap, the Copilot Lab team are working incredibly hard to pull in loads of features, and we will see over the coming months, we will see Copilot Lab develop significantly. And being fully realistic, I see a day in the future where PromptBuddy kind of just disappears because Copilot Lab is got to where we want it to be. But in the meantime, it is a great place to source prompts. So, if you have a need right now for people to be able to find good prompts, to be able to share prompts and all of those kind of things, then you can get started with PromptBuddy, because we're working really hard with the Copilot Lab team to see how there is an easy migration path in the future. So people who are using PromptBuddy can in the future hopefully take out their prompts and go and put them into Copilot Lab. But right now it is a better together story.
Okay, glad to hear. So especially I think this is the beauty of some Power Apps use cases, that it's kind of building the bridge. And once the Copilot Lab is ready with all the functionalities we would like to have in our daily work, then we can easily migrate in the future, hopefully, to fully use Copilot Lab. Yeah. May you want to share some demo or to show the audience how the look and feel is?
Yeah, let's do that. Right.
And I think also with the Power Apps, of course, it's great. As you mentioned, you can then easily just change it the way you like, or also include it in your governance strategy and so on. So it's
absolutely
it's super handy.
So here's PromptBuddy. It's so in fact let's just jump back a level. So we'll go to Get Copilot. Not Get Copilot. Get PromptBuddy. So aka.ms/get PromptBuddy. So here is the PromptBuddy GitHub here. You go over to releases over on the side, and then you can get the downloaded. You can get the latest one there. So actually, I'm going to, by the time this comes out, we're actually going to have released a brand new version. We've got a really massive upgrade coming to PromptBuddy, which includes comments. It includes an approval workflow. We're going to be localizing the UI into 25 different languages. So massive. There's a massive update. It was going to be coming in the next couple of days. For us as we record it, so hopefully by the time this goes out, it'll be available.
Awesome.
So so here it gives you a little demo. There's a video here that tells you how you can install it. We've got the FAQs and things like this, but all you need to do is go to releases, and then you can download the latest one here, and then you go to teams. So I've got like a Copilot Champs team here. And then using Power Apps, you can follow those instructions to import it into this team. And then, as I say, it's a super easy setup. So you can set it so that when people add prompts, they get put into the team. So we can see here a couple of prompts have been added, and it gets posted into the team so everybody sees about it. But so let's show you the user interface that they see here. So as I mentioned, there's three kind of leaderboards at the top. So one is top contributors and the number of prompts that they have done. We've got this middle section here, which is top prompts, which is sorted by likes. So this is a brand new instance, so you can see that this isn't super active. And then we've got new prompts here, so the newest ones that are coming in. Then as we look down a bit, we can see that we've got different ones here. So we've got all of the different apps that are available. So Microsoft 365 Copilot, Copilot on the web, Designer, etc. And one of the beauties of PromptBuddy is that you can add your own. So as people start to develop things like Copilot agents. They might want to create their own Copilot apps that go here, so people can specifically say, hey, this is the one for Contoso. So the Contoso app, whatever. So things that you develop, you're able to use that your own there. Then we've got departments. So you might have specific prompts that are good for HR or finance or legal or whatever. And then the last one here are personas. And you can change all of this. So you can add more personas, you can get rid of personas, you can add your own departments. And so all of this imagery that's already built into PromptBuddy, we even provide you with the prompt in the designer category here to create new category images in that PromptBuddy style. So it's easy to kind of keep this consistent look and feel.
Awesome.
So that's that. Then you can search across this. So if I said that I wanted to look for something that was to do with meetings, I can search there. That will look across all of the prompts in all of the categories, and I can see them there. So if I wanted to look at this one about creating a rich pre-meeting briefing document, I can go here. It tells you a little bit about what the description of the prompt is. It's got the prompt itself that you can just go and copy and paste. This is brand new here. So we've got comments here. So people can actually leave comments. And internally for us, that is really valuable because people say things like, oh, I love this, but I did this. I changed the prompt so that it looked like this. So it kind of helps people to have a conversation around a prompt and see how that can be improved and things like that. So that's really, really nice there. And as I say, you can like it as well. So if you just hit that like button, then the beauty is that here where we can see my likes, that's kind of like a library of ones that you liked. So any documents that you like, or any prompts that you like rather, you can access them really, really easily here. And then the other thing you can do is share them with a colleague. So if I wanted to share this prompt with Amber and just say, this is a great prompt, I can just find Amber from there, send her the message, and then what I will do is that will send her a Teams chat message. It'll send her a nice little card that's got this rich PromptBuddy kind of UI that says, look, I found this great prompt in PromptBuddy and things like this.
And I think this is a super important part to have also this knowledge sharing, or this also here the better together story to envision your coworkers and share your experience. Maybe also to share when you add a new prompt, so it looks super handy and also super helpful.
Yeah. So let's just show that experience here. So I'm going to add one into Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, and I'm really easy. You can submit a prompt here. So let's look for one here. So I'm just copy one across here. So let's look at this one about creating your own personal brand voice. So you can pop in the title. Let me just grab that again from over here. So I'm going to pop in the title, pop in the description, and then I'm going to grab the prompt as well. There we go, and pop that into there. In fact, let's just do that. Okay, and then the nice thing here is that you can actually multi-tag it. So I might say this is good for Microsoft 365 Copilot, but it's also good for business users. It might be good for HR, and it might be good for people leaders. Something like that. So you can tag as many as you want, and then you can also add your own images, so kind of bring it to life there. So then once you're happy with that, you just hit submit prompt, and then that's it. So that's now, here you go, you can see that it's in our Copilot for Microsoft 365 category there. So super easy, super quick to do. And then what we can also see is that's now been posted into Teams. So here within our PromptBuddy team, you can post that, and you can switch that off.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then just while I'm showing you here, while I'm in here, you can see this was this sharing card that I sent, where it told Amber what this great prompt was that I saw as well. So you can see we've really tried to integrate it into people's workflow.
Cool. And when we talk about workflow, you've mentioned also approval will be available soon, so you can then.
So by the time you publish this, by the time you publish this, approvals will be there. We're actually going to be putting it in today. So the day that we're recording this, it's going in. So
hot off the press.
So hot off the press. So here,
awesome.
where I go to the PromptBuddy Manager app, this is where I can do things like I can add extra categories. So if I had my own Contoso Copilot that I'd added, I can add that in there. I can add this nice cover image, and then I can put them into apps or departmental personas. So all of that stuff. But the approval workflow up here into settings, there's these new information here which says require prompt approval. So I can say that prompt submissions do require prompt approval, and then you can define who your prompt approvers are. So let's say that it was Quinn, and let's say that they were Amber. So they are our approvers, and then and that's it. So it's set up really, really easily. So just before I just show you what approval looks like, the other thing that I wanted to show you is here this import prompts and export prompts. Because what we want PromptBuddy to do is be super portable and super lightweight. So really easy. Like people might already have spreadsheets that have got prompts in, or SharePoint libraries and things like this. So we have a JSON format that we can bring them in. So if I just click sample prompts, it shows you what that JSON format looks like. So we just bring in the category, the description. We don't need to worry about the ID, and then the actual prompt itself, and then the title. And then you can import all of those out there. Or if you want to move, great. So sometimes if people have installed PromptBuddies in multiple teams, or they've got different tenants, we have customers who have multiple tenants and they want to be able to share prompts between them, you can pick the ones you want. So if I said, actually, I want to say that one, that one, that one, and that one, then here it will generate the JSON, and then I can copy that and go and paste that into my other PromptBuddy. So you can import and export prompts really, really easily. We want to make sure that people aren't locked into PromptBuddy. So this is part of our collaboration with the Copilot Lab team to see how in the future, if there was going to be a way for us to kind of make a migration path.
That's super helpful for the community. As you mentioned, that you're not limited to PromptBuddy itself, but really to have just this helper already here, and once you may be ready to move on, it's not or the work is not lost, but you can just easily export it.
Absolutely. So now if we go and add our prompt in, so same thing again, so same as before. So I'm going to pop in this team spirit animal. What's our vibe? So here we're going to copy in this prompt to work out what our team spirit animal is. We're just going to leave it here as is. And then what we're going to do is submit that prompt. Now that prompt now is going to go into an approval workflow. You can see here your prompt has been submitted for approval. So instead of going straight into the prompt list, we can still see that it isn't there. It would go into an approval workflow, and we can see. So here's an example of one that I've already approved, because I'm just waiting for this to run. But it'll come through, and it looks pretty much just like this, like we normally get through approvals. It'll tell you what the title is, the description, and the prompt, and then you can see what the status of it is, because we're just using the native approval workflow. So because Quinn and Amber are both approvers, it's just set to be whoever is the first person to approve or reject it. That's the way it goes. But again, because it's a Power App and it's based on the Power Platform, this part of this is all done through Power Automate, so you can change it. So if you don't like the message, you can change it. Or if you want to have a multi-step flow, then you can change it that way as well. Let's say that you actually wanted to send it to the manager instead of to a central team. Again, that's in your gift to do. You can make it however you want it to be. So then once that's been approved, that'll then appear into PromptBuddy.
Cool. So it's really kind of a kickstart for your prompt experience or prompt sharing, and then just extend it as you would like or as you wish as a company or an organization.
Absolutely, and it's
I really
really
love it.
It's really good to be able to just kind of, if you're doing newsletters, let's say, where you want to share great prompts with the organization just to really kickstart your Copilot usage, this is a great place to go and find these prompts. Somebody else within Microsoft, a guy called Alex Clark, and there's a team of people working on have created another app called Prompt Pulse, and Prompt Pulse allows you to schedule prompt sending. So you could, let's say you had a particular team, you could easily schedule like a prompt of the day that would get posted each day. And they've integrated Prompt Pulse so that you can take your prompts from PromptBuddy. So PromptBuddy still remains as your prompt library, but then you can schedule those to be posted out as in a prompt of the day format using Prompt Pulse. So, you know, it's
Awesome.
There's lots of great development happening around it where other people can link in with that.
It looks really great. So thank you for your engagement and also to deliver just such a beautiful tool as PromptBuddy. I think this is so helpful for the community, and love to have you here on board to tell us more about PromptBuddy. So really appreciate your time. Maybe anything to add up from your side?
So I think just still to say that I think lots of companies and lots of users have still got a long way to go on kind of that prompt excellence. So actually writing better prompts. So I saw some research, it's not actually Microsoft research, but I saw some research saying that the most effective prompts are around 30 words upwards, and that most prompts are kind of in the region of around 7 to 8 words. So kind of investing a little bit more time in your in your prompt creation actually gets you much better results on the other end. So the video series I mentioned earlier is, anybody can get to it. So it's aka.ms/prompt like a pro. So you can go there, and that's like a 5-part video series that tells you how, like, prompt basics through to more advanced prompt techniques. So well worth investing time, just a few minutes to practice better prompting.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Also for all your insights. I will definitely link the different links in the post. And thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you for having me today.
Wish you all the best and can't wait to get the update on GitHub.
No worries. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good day.